Good afternoon, everybody. We have a stock called Valeant Pharmaceutical, which has lost 40% of their value today. There was a major sell-off of 60 points. And like ourselves, we were short, making super big money. And the stock went down from 146 yesterday, just today to 88.50. The stock once was $260. There is a lot of controversy around the news that was issued about there was some possibility or alleged fraud that could be happening, and there was downgrades. And part of the other thing was that some of the biggest hedge funds, Mr. Ackman, Mr. Paulson, T. Rowe Price, were heavy people that own 20 million shares plus. Their valuation was down $1 billion. They halted their stock today on Valeant Pharmaceuticals with the press release that sent the stock soaring all the way back up here to the 125 area. And this is a 60-minute chart that is very clear that when we were down here at $88.50 and a 40% drop, the stock was a $260 stock. And these big hedge funds that were down $1 billion plus were losing their shirt. And that, they talk about phantom pharmacy. They talk about, are the revenues real? We do know one thing that CNBC reported, that there was no validation coming from VRX, that they were defending the allegations about, you know, how they sell their pharmaceuticals, and, how that billing is done with other companies. And the the thing about the stakes get extremely high. The stock had 1,534 lows today. And we started out at 148 and we dropped to 88.50. The bears were making all of their big money on selling short the stock, legit as they are. And then all of a sudden, the alleged activity that was reported by the CNBC is that Ackman, he bought 2 million more shares prior to the stock being halted. 2 million shares that was in the tape, and then they come out, they halt it, and they get this big pop. And we're very confident that we will continue to monitor the subject here that happened. This isn't the only time that something has happened like this. The stakes are high, period. And who knows what the regulators are doing, and if they're regulating these people to make sure that all federal laws and whatnot are being held accountability for what allegedly may or may not happen. The thing to the story here, though, is what about the people that were selling short the stock, the bears, and they get wiped out from 88.50 all the way back up to, like I said, it was 125, and this is a 60-minute chart. We were up here at $180 just not long ago, so the stock had already fallen $100 in value. If you want to go back over here on 9/18, the stock was trading up here around the 250 area. So you go down to 250 area, and then the stock hit an intraday low today, and the short sellers are making big money. So about $250, $260, all the way down to $88.50. And that has been the ride. Now, I do know for a fact, because of the controversy, because of the big players that were in it. I'm sure that the regulators are going to come out and do their job. And in our humble opinion, anything that did happen today that allegedly could be a scam or anything involved with the exchanges, as far as the imbalance of these trades that were um, being bought prior to the stock being halted, then they issue a press release with Valiant. And so we're going to figure out by going to the Valiant Pharmaceutical website to the investor relations, we're going to start our own investigation as well because you see, in our humble opinion, every trade that it did since the 146 closing price of yesterday they would bust all the trades. People that were short, that, got hammered out of it because of this release. There would be no gain. It would be a zero gain, like today never happened. And we certainly hope that the regulators would come around and really do a thorough investigation to find out how this big money is being killed and the millions of shares that they owned, and then a press release to come out. There will be an ongoing federal investigation, I'm sure, about Valiant Pharmaceuticals and BRX and the rest of the alleged uh, comments from various news resources and CEOs, you name it. That's all going to come out. They should bust the trade today, Mr. Regulator.